All right, so let's keep it rolling here. I'll go back to another matchup in the South region. We actually might get a couple double-digit seeds facing off in the round of 32 per my projection. So this is Duke, and Justin, you know a lot of bettors like myself would love to fade Duke in the past. Yeah, so the number 5 seeded Blue Devils, the ACC tournament champs, after reeling off a bunch of victories in a row to end the regular season and obviously in the ACC tournament, they're taking on the number 12 seed Oral Roberts. And you go back to, first off, I do want to say, I think the mascot's name on Oral Roberts is named Eli or nicknamed Eli. So just want to throw that out there. But
no bias.
Exactly, no bias. But you go back to, man, this game is taking place. I want to say it's Thursday. Yeah, Thursday at 6 o'clock. Duke lost to, who was it? The C.J. McCollum-led 15 seed going back to, I think it was...
Lehigh.
Lehigh, yes. The round of 64 Friday game around the same time. So I don't want to say it's a bad omen, but I just want to throw that out there going back a ways. Yeah, about a decade or so ago. So this Oral Roberts team to me, I make this spread, by the way, it's sitting at around 6.5 as of this recording. I make it around closer to Duke -4.5 or -5. So you look at this from a market standpoint and from a metric standpoint, because I understand that Duke's perimeter defense, it's kind of similar to San Diego State for me, and I'm curious about your breakdown on this shot quality wise too, Justin, because I don't think Duke's defense from 3 is necessarily exploitable. Like, this is still an upper echelon Duke defense, and Oral Roberts revolves around the 3 with Max Asmus. We saw that Oral Roberts team make that Sweet 16 run and nearly upset Arkansas going back to a couple of years ago, almost getting themselves into the Elite Eight after knocking off Ohio State and Florida in the first couple of rounds. But what Oral Roberts does really well is they pressure the ball. And this is especially in conference play, and I know you might say, okay, it's the Summit League. Their opponent's turnover rate, they're forcing the second highest opponent's turnover rate in Summit League play. Does that translate when you go up against Duke? Like Duke. But then you look at Duke's turnover problems, man, in ACC play, and it's bad. It wasn't exploited a ton in the ACC tournament, but Tyrese Proctor and Jeremy Roach both can have their concerns with turnovers. So if Oral Roberts can force turnovers, again, this goes back to the first couple games we've discussed so far when you think of controlling the pace, because Duke wants to slow it down, which is a bit opposite of the way they played over the last couple years under Coach K. And obviously in John Shire's first season, Oral Roberts wants to play up tempo, and they could space the floor. So it's similar to the Charleston breakdown for me. If Oral Roberts is able to control the pace and turn Duke over, and again, they have the size to rebound the ball and control the glass against a pretty big Duke front court. Connor Vanover, the ugly Arkansas transfer, has made his way down to Oklahoma this season. And again, him against Lively also is an interesting matchup. I know he's not necessarily a physical big, but he has the size to match up against this Duke front court. So if Oral Roberts is turning Duke over and pressuring the ball like I think they can, again, Kareem Thompson, one of the better on-ball defenders, not only among mid-major programs, but across college basketball. I think Oral Roberts is live to pull this off, but again, per my numbers, that spread is inflated.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And so here's some good shot quality data on it. So Duke is allowing opponents to shoot just 30% from 3 this season. Shot quality is expecting 34%. So 3.7% is the exact difference in our expectation based on the shots taken against them. We know that the ACC has been a little weak, but it actually mostly came from their non-conference schedule. So expected to give up a little bit more. And just across the season, expected to be allowing 0.06 points per possession more through the whole year. I mean, that's pretty high. I've seen some higher ones, of course, but that is definitely on the higher end of the range. Their defense is outperforming expectations for sure. Duke, though, I mean, look, good rebounding team, but what is important about this matchup, like you said, that 3-point shooting. And what stands out to me here is, Oral Roberts is going to come in as the number 5 team in off the dribble 3-point points per possession. So very effective at shooting those shots. And they take the 3rd most off the dribble 3-point shots in the nation. They take them at 23% of their possessions, which is crazy. And Duke is not exactly good at defending that type of three-pointer. They're actually quite good at defending the catch and shoot, but off the dribble is something that their defenders have difficulty with, according to our data, 218th at allowing points, and don't really see it much. So they're not exactly used to it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Of course, midcourt Max is going to be out doing his thing. Let's hope. It's really a lot of fun. This team is really interesting. I mean, I always wonder what if O'Banner was still there. This would just be like a super team coming out of the summit. But no, I think this is going to be a great matchup. I do think Oral Roberts is live to do it. Shot quality doesn't really agree with us. We're projecting this to be a 10-point win for Duke. But, winning the ACC, and it tends to be, the history seems to be that teams that cut down the nets tend to fizzle out a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked if fading Duke gets you a win against the spread or two, maybe even more if they survive. I think they could end up winning this, but I wouldn't be shocked. I don't hate the money line sprinkle on Oral Roberts. Like, this is the year they're waiting for this. This is exactly who to come out and make a statement against. I don't know. This is going to be one of the best matchups of the first 2 days.
I'm really glad you brought up your point about teams that have success in their respective conference tournaments, not necessarily, or that doesn't necessarily bode well in March Madness, because historically you look at 8 of the last 20 champions that have cut down the nets in April won their conference tournament. So we're talking 40%. It's not that high. It's not even 50%. So you don't have to win your conference tournament. You don't have to be the hot team. And just relating this to the betting market, that also goes to show you that a lot of these teams that win the conference tournament, or it doesn't, I mean, we're talking outright versus against the spread, but still, even from a seeding standpoint, a team could be overvalued with their own seed because they won their conference tournament, and that correlates to the betting market. So don't necessarily, not just with Duke or another team that won their conference tournament, let's say with Texas. I know Justin and I both have a big opinion on the Longhorns that we'll get to here in a bit when we break down our Final Four picks and national title winner. And I don't know if I'm going to have a national title winner right now, to be honest, just because it's Sunday night, but at least Final Four picks, Four picks. You don't always necessarily want to gravitate to the conference tournament champs.